Hey guys, it's me, Dax, and her, Leanne. In today's video, we're going to talk about why nothing sticks long term, why we have such a problem keeping the results that we work so bloody hard to get. So, Leanne, over to you. Why does nothing stick long term?
I think the big distinction that I kind of want to share in this video is the difference between change and transformation, and it not only looks completely different on a brain level, short-term habits and long-term habits live and reside in two completely different parts of the brain, but also the what we need to do, how we need to feel, and who we need to be to get those changes to take them from short-term to long-term are completely different. And so I think a lot of times we're so focused on the change. We're so focused on getting the result. And there's nothing wrong with results, right? I want people to have results. But when we look at this, getting our results and keeping our results, they really are two separate things, two separate journeys. And so I think the distinction really needs to be created between change and transformation.
Right. So what is that? What is that distinction? How are we actually saying that?
Yeah, well, and this is based on a common sense level of like what I want for women and how I want them to live their lives with the freedom and the permission and choice. But also this goes right along with how our brain determines whether or not it's going to be carried and transferred over into that long-term part of our brain. But the question really becomes like, can I do this? Can I sustain this easily and happily? Or the word that I use is feasy. Is it fun, easy, and feasible, right? Feasy, baby. And the truth is that if we do a little bit of backwards math, because this isn't our first rodeo, this isn't the first time we've ever committed to a planner program. If we use the backwards math, if somebody tells me to commit to something, or if I myself commit to something, I know whether or not I'm going to stick to it long term. Is this something that I will repeatably and predictably stick with? And I think it really comes down to that. What would you add to that?
No, I agree. I think it's one of the ways that I always describe this is that it's always in the experience, and we can tell ourselves all kinds of lies about willing to do it, I'll pay the price, and all the rest of it. But the reality always comes back to the actual experience we're having. Like, do I think I'm going to enjoy this experience? Given what I know of myself and my historical approaches to this, like, have I enjoyed it in the past? And the reality is, like most of us, before we even start on one of our, what most people call their transformation programs, you and I are very clear that they're change programs, right? Transformation is unidirectional. It's always moving forward. Change is back and forth, yo-yo diets and all this kind of stuff, right? But what you'll see every single time is that it's not that the thing is not doable by the person. Like, clearly they can do it. We can cut calories forever. We can kick our asses in the gym. We could do everything. But the reality is the minute you stop enjoying it is the minute you stop doing it. Right? And you stop doing it internally first, like, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this. Well, your brain is, the great thing about the human brain, the miracle of it, is that it's always listening.
Yeah.
And when it hears you saying, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this, I can't wait till this is over, what do you think you're programming into your brain? You're programming into your brain, hey, let's go back to the way we were before we started all this horrible stuff.
Right.
So this is why most people don't transform. They're one of the ways that I've always described this is that you will never create the body, the life, the business, the relationship, the whatever it is that you love while you're doing the things you loathe. Most people loathe their approaches.
Right. But it also kind of transforms or impacts our expectations. A lot of women that I talk to, they think about what they think it would take for them to transform. Based on their past experiences, they're like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to work that hard. And so they've only known the change way of thinking, and change is hard. And the interesting thing is that, change is hard. That's why most people resist it, right? But any skill, right? Whether it's practicing the violin or speaking Spanish, the way our brain is supposed to work, right? Skills, as we practice them more and more, they're supposed to get easier, right? But what I have found is that weight loss and body transformation, for most people, it gets harder and harder the more you do it. Well, why is that? Because we're working against the brain, right? Change is hard, but transformation is supposed to become easier and easier as we go and as we practice it. But the caveat there is if it's something that we want to get good at, right? If it's something that we want to practice.
Right.
But another distinction that just came to my mind as you were talking is, to me, change is this external job. It's something that we're doing that is, coming from outside of us for the most part. It's based on the thing or the doing, right? Transformation is an inside job. It's a change of who we're being and how we're feeling and how we're talking, walking, what we're seeing. We become this changed and transformed person rather than doing the change. So it's this distinction between the doing and the being.
Right. I agree completely. I think just coming back into, like, as you were talking there, it made me think about what is a person really practicing. And a person most of the time is really they're not practicing becoming the next person that they want to see themselves as being. They're practicing how to stop doing the stuff they don't enjoy doing. This is why, so you become more efficient at, if you want to put it to use a more common term, you become extremely efficient and effective at quitting. But because that's the skill you've developed the skill to say to yourself from day one, I'm not enjoying this, I don't like this, I can't wait till it's over, let me find a way to get out of this. You become brilliant at doing that. That's the skill that's been developed. So from the flip side of that, then it becomes very, very easy to see that if you can actually change your internal dialogue so that we're not forcing ourselves, we're not triggering ourselves, we're not positive thinking our way into things. We're actually saying that the key question here that pretty much guarantees whether someone's on a journey toward transformation or just change is, do I enjoy this?
Yeah.
Do I enjoy this? That's it.
Right.
It's that simple.
And the lines of questioning you'll be able to recognize really quickly. And oftentimes, and I'm generalizing here obviously, but change questions are like, how can I get myself to do that? How can I make myself? How can I persuade myself? How can I control myself, right? Versus, to me, transformation questions are, how can I remove everything that's keeping me from enjoying it? How can I remove the barriers that are keeping me from completing that or feeling the way I want to feel or doing what I want to do? So it's two separate conversations. And so I think it really kind of boils down to that. What is the difference between, like, how do I get myself to do something long term? The question then becomes, like, what conversation am I having? Am I having a change conversation, right? Or am I having a transformation conversation?
Right.
Awesome.
Yeah. Whenever you hear yourself saying, how can I get myself to, you know that you're in the change conversation, right?
Yeah. Versus, what do I want?
Right.
Who do I want to be? I love it. Awesome. Well, thanks for joining in on this conversation. Great talking about these subject matters as always. Love it. And we'll see y'all next time.
Take care.